Hi, ladies. How are you guys? I hope everyone's doing well today. I'm laughing because I got my kids to bed finally. And you know how when you have one of those days and you're just like, whoa, why aren't these kids sleepy? I don't understand. We've done this, we've done that. You've been to school, you had education, you had after school activities and you're still not sleeping. So I don't know what it was, but I knew like I was hoping that they would get to bed. And so that's that post that I put was kind of a plea for help. Like, if you don't see me, pray for me. So I hope that you all are, those of you who could come on, I hope that you all are doing well. I hope your kitties are in bed or hopefully on their way to bed. And I wanted to come and talk a little bit because this morning I actually had this dilemma. So let me explain. So yesterday, um, one of our members from Supermom Rehab, hi, I'm just gonna talk about you, NECA. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I was gonna say that one of our members from Supermom Rehab basically said, this forum is so important for mothers and actually decided to take it upon herself to invite a whole bunch of other moms into this group. And for that, I am eternally grateful because it just is basically accelerating the process of getting, hi Monique, of getting more moms in here who I think and I hope need to really get that support and get that messaging around the fact that we don't need to be working harder. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about working together. It's about going back to having sister circles and villages and not trying to do it all by yourself. And so, NECA, thank you for, leading the way. And I'm hoping that many of you who have like great circles and feel like more of your mom friends need to know that, I'm hoping that you will also invite them into this because I think the more the merrier and we need more ideas. Yes, exactly. More support, more sister circle. And that was the reason basically when I started seeing, I have a question in the group questions, which I try to make sure that people try to answer, but there's a question there that is like, what is your goal for this new year? And yesterday night, as I was going through people's goals, I was like, these ladies are amazing. In terms of when you look at what people are doing, like the demanding careers that people have, and then what their goals are, I was so inspired that, and then I got really, I was thinking a lot about this whole idea of Black Girl Magic, and I was like, no, this is not magic. We have worked our butts off. We have done so many things, tolerated so much BS so often in our pursuit of whatever the career was that we decided on many years ago. And then we get there, and then they put structures or things for us not to, once we've grown, not to excel in that field. And for many of us, it's not magic. It's hard work. It's determination. It's speaking up. It's telling our truth. And I think one of the things that's really important for us to think about is, are we striving for what excellence is, or are we settling for excellence as per what the status quo tells us? Like the status quo will tell us that, you have this job and you're working in this office and you get paid this, which is most of us far below what we need to be paid, that's excellent and you should be happy and you don't need anything else because that's greedy. And in my head, I'm thinking, when I look at these list of goals that people have put down, I'm just like, there's so much genius here. And the fact that women who have accomplished this, who have been excellent all of their lives, right, are really tapping into the fact that it's not excellent that we're in pursuit of. It's really about being able to work in our genius and work in our Nneka put hashtag Black Girl Genius. Exactly. And it's like working in our genius, but how do we get there? And I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I feel that one, for many of us, we've been doing this so long that we're confusing what we're excellent at or what we're very competent at as our genius, and we're limiting ourselves. And so I think that what I'm hoping that we as mothers who have so many things on our plate, right? Because we're thinking, well, we have to make sure our family's comfortable. So that dream or that idea, we got to put that on the back burner because we've already told ourselves, no, it can't happen. We don't have exactly what we need. But I will say, just as a pediatrician, right, many people look at me and are like, why are you even pursuing this like road that is clearly not the road that people, it's actually a road that people would laugh at. People will say, oh, but like, why would you even think about moving away from medicine or doing something else other than medicine? And I grappled with that, and I wanted to throw that out to the group because I want us to think about, are there things that are calling us, things that are inside of us that we are saying no to because of the image or the appearance, or we've said to ourselves that can't work right now because of time, because of energy, because of money. And I wonder, whether or not that's a part of what we need to really reframe as super moms, right? And Latrice put in the comments, she was like, I don't want to actually be a super mom. And I said, the way that it's being defined now, of course you don't want to be I don't want to be a super mom and deal with all of that stress and everything. But if we change the definition, to think about being a super mom. And if you've been in this group for as many months as this group has been, there are 3 things that I always talk about. If we define a super mom as someone who finally has clarity on where she's at and where she wants to go, and has figured out what her strengths are, and also has figured out what her genius is and wants to actually get there, then the supermom is someone who has that clarity. A supermom is someone who has the confidence to know that I need to put in so much time and so much energy into making sure that I'm well, that I'm mentally well, that I'm physically well, that I'm doing things I enjoy. There are multiple women in this group who have actually talked about or have had difficulty saying what brings them joy. That's outside of providing something for somebody else, but just brings them joy, whether it be called selfish, but just brings them joy. And that honestly was me, where when I was hospitalized and my brother called me and said, oh, Malara, you're hospitalized. You can't do anything. You can't help anybody right now. What brings you joy? And I sat there for days kind of like, never thought about that. And so if we have clarity, but also the confidence to know that when we're good, when we're actually at our best, that's actually going to be the most important thing for our families, for our communities, for our children, when we're at our best. And are we at our best if we are comfortable, not growing, and potentially not tapping into the thing that is calling us or burgeoning deep inside us? I've had calls with had calls, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to speak to all of you, every mom who's in here, I'm hoping. But I've had calls with moms who have talked about writing their books, right? I've had calls with moms who talked about being able to start that business that they keep saying it would be very far from where they are. And I will say, as someone who has been in a pretty standard traditional trajectory, medical school, residency, be a doctor and be happy and then die. That's the goal. But I'm choosing uncharted territory. This is completely uncharted, but I feel like after working with so many moms and seeing so many moms in the office, that there was only one goal, like as I was working with them, where I was noticing my love for taking care of children was there, but then there's this burgeoning deeper love of connecting with women of color, helping us helping them to feel supported, helping them to feel empowered, but also helping them to bring those goals, bring those ideas, bring those dreams out, and make sure that they're not staying hidden because of motherhood and using motherhood as an excuse, but potentially using motherhood as the catalyst for us to say, I cannot give my children what I don't have. And if I want to give my children fulfillment, happiness, joy, I need to have that. And if I don't have that right now, if I don't have fulfillment, if I don't feel completely like at ease with where my life is, I can't give that and I can't cultivate that for my children. So how can I build that in myself? And one way of building that is really by getting very deep in terms of what is it that I want? Where am I? What's holding me back? And those are some of the questions I usually have for women on the call. But then also, who is my community? Who are the people that are in that same bucket of women who are go-getters, who want to do more, who want more? And how am I going to get supported? Because if there's nobody around me to cultivate that, it's very hard to keep that momentum going. If you haven't developed a village, if you're standing out here trying to do all of this alone and saying, I'm going to get here and get here and get there, it can't happen. It can't really happen. And so I'm asking for all of you, as you watch this video, to give me some ideas on what is going to be your next step. Is it clarity? Or do you feel like you already have clarity, you know where you want to go? But is it confidence? Do you feel like you're in the mindset where you've already invested in your mental wellness, your physical wellness, you're doing those things that are keeping you at the point where you can be clear and get to your goals, right? Or the other piece I talk about is harnessing your power and being able to feel really strong in terms of delegating, strong in saying no, strong in negotiating what you want? Or is it a community issue where, you need to beef that up? You need to find a circle. And I'm hoping that women feel happy to be in this, that they'll contribute, that you'll be able to ask questions and have that community and to share your wins. This is the goal I was able to accomplish. And so I'm hoping that if it's a clarity issue, if it's a confidence issue, if it's a community issue, that you're able to identify which one of those do I not have that is keeping me from getting into my genius zone. And I think a lot of times we're settling for our excellence. We're settling for the things that we've done all our lives, and we're trying to shh that voice that is telling us, but what about this? This is what really you want to do. And it could be in your job. And for those of you who have achieved that, can you start letting us know how you did that? Start letting us know in the comments, like, what are the steps that took you there? For me, I've been able to, move into that path. And I feel that there is a desire not to be in that path by myself, right? And not to reach that level of tapping into my genius by myself, that I want everyone to be able to know what their genius is. And hopefully your genius is, for many of you, your genius is where you're at right now and you're living in it. And for some of you, my hope is that, your eyes are opening and you're kind of like, wow, this is what I want for my life. And where I'm at is not enough. And feeling good with that and feeling okay with that. I want all of you, if you have a chance, to definitely, set up, if you haven't already thought about those questions, then let's go through them. Let's figure out a call where we can actually talk about you rather than you always talking about everyone else and trying to make sure everyone else is okay. I have to go and do work, which is a lot of times what we do. Like once we've accomplished the goal of getting our kids to bed, it's kind of like, okay, what else do I have to do? But I do have a standard bedtime, guys, which is at 10 o'clock. So that's why I have to literally rush off. So that gives me about 30 minutes after this that I have left. So I'm gonna go make a cup of tea, go relax in my quiet time, and I would urge you all to think about quiet time as well, and think about, is that the morning for you? Is that the night for you? But making sure that before you jump into all of the things that have to get done, that we prioritize what we value. And so make it a priority to have that quiet time, that reflection time. And if it's going to be in the nighttime, if it's going to be in the morning before anything gets done, just make sure it happens. And if you want to put in any comments about what your Black girl genius is, what you're tapping into, what your goal is for 2020, and whether any of this that I talked about resonates with you, I would love to hear that. And anyway, have a good night, and I hope you guys do really well in terms of moving towards that genius. So have a good night, guys. Take care.